Woo!
Spider webs.
Wait, this is hot.
Something bit my back.
I'm such a party.
I'm with the gang.
So, choke.
You gotta brief the case,
Right.
and then woo! Yo, this drink hits.
It's very nasty.
It's so good. These buns. That's a word.
That's a word. Okay, we dropping gems.
We are.
These people, we try to book.
Baby girl, let the ice break. Give you all what your life is. I know what I say. Give me.
Hey beauties, it's Alma
And Fallon.
and today we're doing another law school related video. Today's video is things we wish we knew before we started law school.
So something you should know before starting law school is how competitive it's going to be. And I had heard that like before going to law school that it's really competitive, and some schools are more competitive than others. Like when I used to intern with an attorney, he told me in school they used to like cut out certain pages of the book in the library to like so people couldn't read. Yeah, so people couldn't read certain cases that they needed to for class, like all that stuff. Now my school wasn't like that. I mean, I wasn't in person. I don't think it was to that extreme, but you do notice that it's just a competitive environment. All in all, I didn't know how competitive it was really going to be, and then when you get there and you realize that it's kind of you and your peers are all going against each other for the same jobs, for the same, I mean, everyone wants an A, everyone wants to be on law review, everyone wants to be on moot court. Maybe not everyone, but like you're all competing for like these same things.
Yeah.
So then you start to like get in your head about it, but I snapped out of it. But
The first thing I wish I knew before going to law school is that they pick all your classes for you the first year. So you don't get to pick any of your classes. Some of the first year classes include Civ Pro, torts, crim. Some schools do con law, property. I really think that's about it.
Yeah.
School picks your classes, and it's kind of like high school or like elementary school actually, where you travel with the same group of people. Like, you know, in elementary school, all of y'all had social studies together, you had science together. It's kind of like that. You don't really get to intermingle with other people from different sections. It's just like your little group and y'all have all these classes together. Oh, and you also take legal writing.
the second thing I wish I knew before starting law school is to ask upperclassmen for books, outlines, even advice, or really for anything. Like if you want to know what professors you should take, what classes, aside from 1L year, because I almost said those are already chosen for you, but for your 2L and 3L year, it's good to get advice from other upperclassmen who have taken those classes. Also, I was able to not pay for any of my books my first year.
She did. Like,
Except for my legal writing book. I had to buy that. But all my doctrinal classes, I got them from upperclassmen. So I would definitely suggest talking to upperclassmen and seeing what they know. And yeah.
I had a mentor, I have a mentor, and so when I was like registering for classes for next semester, I like messaged her. I was like, what classes did you take last semester, and like who did you take them with? And she told me she took so-and-so classes with so-and-so professor, and she was like, she recommends me take this amount of classes. So basically, like Fallon said, get in contact, get in touch, tap in with those upperclassmen, because they're literally they're very helpful. So yeah, love that for them. And that's gonna be us next year.
Yay.
One thing I wish I knew before going to law school is that reading takes longer than you initially anticipate. Like when you first get cases, they use like old language, like I'm talking about King James Bible type language, and so you might spend you'll be Googling a lot of words just to understand what they're talking about. And I already take my time reading anyway, so it just makes it longer. But like with time it gets a little faster. Just know that when they give you a couple pages later, like, oh, this 10-page case or something, it's not going to take 5-10 minutes. Like that's a couple hours, and then after that you got to brief the case, and then you got to brief the case, and so
you brief after you read?
At first I used to brief while I read, but it depends on my mood. Like sometimes I'd rather just read and get it out the way, and then brief afterwards. So either one. Most of the time, towards the end of the semester, I was just reading and then brief later.
Yeah, I did both, and it kind of depended. Like some cases, if it was a shorter case, I would just read it and then brief. But it was longer, sometimes I did brief while I was reading. But it kind of depends.
And for classes like property was hard for me to get into reading. So when I started reading, I was in the zone. I didn't want to like break out and like start writing. So I would just try to finish it and do it. But I will say the cases in property got a little bit better. They started to get interesting a little bit. wait, they did second semester property.
No, first semester property was so much better.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, what is life estate?
Estate.
Be simple, absolute.
Yes, bring back estate.
Don't bring back estate.
Then we started doing, what was second semester?
Mortgages.
I hated that.
Oh my God. What else did we do?
Easements.
We did easements. Second semester property, that's my girl.
No.
Yes, I loved her.
I disagree. So the third thing I wish I knew before starting law school is how important self-care is. I wasn't really a self-care person in college. I mean, I don't know, I think I had a lot more free time. So if I wanted to do my skincare routine, like a little extra, what I would recommend doing is when you're writing out your schedule for classes, also fit in there some self-care stuff. And that could even mean if you like working out, like I like working out. I would work out in between classes, and that's what worked for me. Some people might like to wake up early and do it before class.
Wait, no, working out in the morning before class is better.
I don't like that, because that means I gotta wake up early.
But you be so energized throughout the day. Like, I was not
That's
tired.
True. Well, when I would work out in between classes, it was in between my morning classes. So I was still working out like at 9 a.m. because I had at 8:30. Wait, I don't even know what time I worked out like between 9 and 10. It was somewhere like that. So it was still the morning. I don't like working out in the evening, but whatever works best for you, just like figure out what you like to do for self-care, because that could even mean laying on the couch, watching Netflix, hanging out with your friends, family, FaceTiming someone, or it could be like skincare, whatever it is. And just plan that into your schedule and like really stick to that. So then you don't feel so you don't feel so overwhelmed with school, and just like, because law school can be really consuming and time consuming, and then you kind of forget about yourself. So make sure you build it in and actually stick to that routine.
Also remember that you're just more than a law student. I think a lot of people just think that they're only in law school when they're in law school. There's so many other parts of you too. So do things that you love to do. If you like to play the piano, like go off on the keys, work out, play
like you like
sports.
to film and you find time to film.
Exactly. Yeah. So just don't lose yourself entirely. Wait, at all. Don't lose yourself at all.
Don't do it.
That's a word.
That's a word. Mic drop.
Come on.
Yeah, we dropping gems.
We are.
These people, we read a book.
No, for real. The third thing I wish I knew before starting law school was to use supplemental materials. Like we talked about it a little bit in the last video when we talked about Quimby. But supplemental materials are just beneficial when you don't understand what the professor is talking about. And so like it's just to help you understand. It's not really to teach you, to enhance what you're being taught, if that makes sense, to help further explain a little bit. So there are different supplemental materials for different classes, such as like property. I used a supplement for that sometimes. Tours, contracts, like literally most doctrinal classes have supplements that you can use, and you can buy them online or like talk to upperclassmen who may have them already. So yeah, check them out.
So the next thing I wish I knew before starting law school is to ask about scholarship opportunities. And there's ones, at least for my school, there's some that were listed on the website, and most schools probably have that. But before I started at the school I go to, I reached out to the dean to ask if there were any more, and I actually received another one that was not on the website. So things like that, like if you are in need of scholarship money, just reach out to the school and ask, and there could be opportunities that they don't disclose. I don't know why there's like hidden ones, or I don't know, but if you ask, most times there's some money laying around that they're going to be willing to give you if you ask. So
there's money always laying around.
There's always money laying around, and I would say do that every semester, because sometimes they're only like semester long scholarships, and then you have to like renew it, but no one tells you that you have to like submit another application. So just make sure that you are on top of it if you want scholarship money. Like I apply to scholarships also outside of my school. So just make sure you look at all the opportunities, and don't be afraid to ask, because all they can say is no if they don't have any more money.
That's the worst they can say.
Right.
And depending on how well you do your first year, the school might even offer you money.
Right.
So if you like maintain a certain GPA or something.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yes, girl, where you can save money at. And don't be shy to ask, because literally the worst they can say is no, and then you gonna pay what you were already gonna pay in the first place. So ask. The next thing I wish I knew before starting law school is that citing in law school is not the same as citing in undergrad. So we're not talking about MLA, we're not talking about APA, Chicago style, none of that stuff. We're talking about I'm not gonna say most schools, but each state does things differently. Each state has their own rules and ways they want you to cite, different ways they want you to abbreviate things. We use the blue book. I don't think you do.
We use Allwood. It's not, to me, it's not intuitive. Like it's
it's not intuitive.
It's not intuitive.
Yeah.
But once you get it, like, it's not bad.
Exactly. I was gonna say you're gonna get the hang of it eventually, but it's annoying because like commas matter. Like you can't italicize commas, but you have to italicize this. Like it's messy. It's very. There's a word I'm looking for. It starts with a T.
Tedious.
Tedious. Yes, it's very tedious.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is something I
just loved when it was id.
Wait,
I love when it was id. For y'all know.
Id,
If
yo.
you know, you know.
Bruh. Id is the best citation. Girl.
So another thing I wish I knew before starting law school is to not feel pressured to do everything. It's like I was saying earlier about the competitive nature of it. It kind of feels like you do have to do everything. Like I know people that signed up to do or applied to do law review and moot court and trial ad, and they're doing a clinic. Like that's a lot on top of all your regular classes. So don't feel like you have to do everything. I would just pick some things that you really want to do, not things that you feel like you have to do. Like if you're truly interested in law review, you should do law review. If you're not, don't sweat it and go do a clinic maybe that you would like to do. Or like I'm gonna be secretary for the Black Law Student Association. If you're interested in like being in orgs and being in
sorry, number.
If you're interested in being in orgs, like being on the e-board or being more involved in, I don't know, like some people are Barbary reps. Like there's so many things you can get involved.
Sorry.
There's so many things you can get involved with that aren't, I guess, maybe things that are like pushed as much, if that makes sense.
It's kind of like undergrad. Like a lot of things are pushed, like be the president of this org and do this and do that, but there's other different ways that you can get involved in things that you truly love. So yeah, don't feel pressured to do certain things just because people speak highly about it. Do things that cater towards you. The next thing we're going to talk about that we wish we knew before going to law school was the curve. So this is kind of hard to explain. Basically,
oh my god, the curve.
Wait. So basically the curve is okay, you all take an exam and it's based on the person who does the best in the class. So say y'all take an exam and the best is a 70% or something. That 70 is now the A. And from there they figure out like who falls where. Like then they figure out like the B, the C, and all that stuff. So just because you got 70% don't mean you had a C in the class. But yeah, I don't really know how to explain the curve, but just know that an 80% is not really a B.
And I hear the curve gets better like your second and third year.
I hope.
Like better meaning less strict or whatever. Like in my school there's certain classes where only a certain number of people can get A's.
Yes.
So like I went to one of my professors to go over my fall exam, which I recommend doing if you want to improve the next semester. You go talk to your teacher, see what you did wrong. But I went to talk to him. He was like, oh, this is like an A paper. And I was like,
wait, why didn't I get an A?
I was like, I didn't get an A. And he was like, yeah, like, because they can only give out a certain amount of A's. So you could still write an A paper or essay and not get an A, which is very annoying. It's very annoying. But you kind of have to be like stellar to get an A. Like you have to put something extra than some other people, or else you'll fall. Most people fall in the middle.
So yeah, we wish we knew about the curve.
Yeah.
And how intense it is. That joint is serious.
It's serious.
And the last thing we just want to say is that there's no secret formula to doing well in law school. We're giving you guys advice, things we wish we knew. But honestly, it's really trial and error. You have to just do things for yourself and see what works for you. Some things that work for me may not work for you. Some things that work for her may not work for me. Some things that may work for me don't work for her. So just try it out and just take everything with a grain of salt. And yeah, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. We have other law school videos. I'll list the playlist up above and in the description box down below. And yeah, bye beauties.
Bye.
I met a girl from the UK. She a dime, she a cutie. I tell her come if she wanna see me. She love the green and she love when it rains.